Good morning, class 12 children. So today is Saturday. We have English language class. Hope you all are fine and safe at home, uh, and continuing with your previous taught lessons, revising them and doing the question answers, self-practicing, and also completing your homework. Um Today we'll revise um, question number 2, which is directed writing or hinted writing. This is our short composition that we write, which is a compulsory question, and as you know, this is of 20 marks in your question paper. So it is a very vital question to be attempted. uh, there are lots of options, as we know. We have done this already in class 11, and in this directed writing, the varieties that we discussed in class 11 are report writing, review writing, uh, statement of purpose, personal profile writing, uh, testimonial, prepared speech, um, etc. These are all what we had discussed in our last session when we were in class 11. So today we'll again take um, as a revision class on report writing, and if you remember last time in APB, Ananda TV, Bangla, uh, there was a class uh, for report writing and proposal writing. So there too, you might have understood uh, more of the um, discussion in this very chapter, um, which were um, with your doubts. So I had suggested you to watch uh, that class on the date given. So we'll again revise, because the more you know, the better for you. So we'll today discuss um, our report writing, which is a revision class. So last time we had completed compositions, and we also discussed about the kinds of compositions, and you were also interested some assignment on the question. Hope you have done the work. So sooner you get the work, better you continue writing it, because you'll get plenty of work in your English language, because this is a practical class. The more you practice, the better for you. And as soon as one question or one chapter gets over, we'll move on to the next one. Though they are all revision classes we are going to do, because almost all chapters we have done in class 11 itself. So um, when it comes to revision, that means you have more questions to practice. That's why be ready yourself to um, complete your tasks as soon as possible. So we'll come to discuss report writing today. So what is report writing? We had already understood in our last session, so yet we will understand here. So report writing, as far as report writing is concerned, a report is um, a factual description. It is a factual description because whenever something happens, we make a report on that happening or that incident, that occurrence. So we make a report. We keep a record of what happened. So that is called a report. So a report or factual description is a form of communication. So it is a form of communication that we write as a report, and then we let others know what has happened. So this is why we write a report, in which some information is conveyed. Conveyed means it is delivered, is told. So some information concerning that event or concerning that happening is conveyed to others, usually in writing to someone who wants it. So this is in the form of writing, and then it is delivered, right? Whoever is wanting to know it or know about what has happened. So this is a report writing. So let me again revise. A report or factual description is a form of communication in which some information is conveyed, usually in the form of writing to someone who wants it. So this is what is a report writing. So when something happens, it is to be let known to others what has happened. So for that, we make a report of it. And when we make a report of it, we then let others know what incident took place. So that is why we make a report writing. So thus, it is a formal style of writing. It is very official. Formal here means official. So it is a formal style of writing elaborately on the topic. So we take one topic, and on that topic we write. We write elaborately. Elaborate means detail, right? So it is in the form of uh, um, you can say elaborately explain on the given topic. So this is called a report writing. And you know, there are three kinds of report writing that we write. One report is written on newspaper when something okay happens, uh, like any road accident, uh, or any kind of uh, theft that took place in the locality. And then we write on natural calamities that took place. We make a newspaper report. Generally, this is what we read in the newspaper. And then the second one is police report. When any murder has taken place, any theft has taken place, anybody has given you a threatening. So we make a report of such happening to the police. We call it the police report when we write it. And then third one is a magazine report. Like magazine report, we have uh, like a school magazine. In a school magazine, something or the other kind of activities are done. Uh, for example, see cultural program organized in the school, or annual sports day conducted in the school. We make a report of what happened in these events, and when we write it and print it on the magazine. So we call it magazine report. So these are the three different kinds of report that we write to. One is newspaper report, second is police report, and third is magazine report. However, we have a same format to write or report writing. Format is very very important. As you know, I have been strictly warning you to write uh, the work as per the format, because as per the council we are given a prescribed format. Different boards may be having different formats for writing a topic, but we'll stick to what ISC format is there as prescribed by the council. So we'll take up that and then write a report in the um, remembrance of these steps, right? And if you are slightly gone astray to what format we have, then you will be negatively marked. So better we stick to what format we are given. So and write accordingly the question that is asked. And I told you in the class also last year that report writing is a maximum asked question in the question paper so far by the boards, ISC. So practicing on report writing is a must, and the more questions you get and practice, better for you to understand, because maximum a time we got report writing in the question paper. So here you see. So what are the things you must remember when you sit to write a report? These are the things to remember. We should not write what is not required. We should stick to what is required by the report writing. So we'll follow the steps to write a report writing. So the first and foremost is rubric or heading or title. So every report writing should have a heading or a title or a rubric, because without a title we'll not understand what to be written in our report. So the report is here made interesting when you go through the topic, when we go through the heading. So many a person they just go through the heading and then um, decides whether to read the report or not. So heading must be very much purchasing. It must make the reader to read what the report is about. That's why heading must be given. So once you locate a heading, then the start becomes easy, the content becomes easy. So the heading uh, is the beginning of the report. The heading or rubric or title must be written on the middle of your page, top middle of your page. Uh, Capitalize the heading or underline what heading you have written. So the articles, prepositions, they are not to be capitalized. So if the other words that you write in the other words that you write in the topic or heading, they must begin in the capital letters as said. So first and foremost, we need to give a heading in the middle of your page, which is either bold or underline. That is what you have to do. And then comes your leaving one line after the heading. Then comes your name, name as a reporter, because in a report writing you are told by the question that you are a reporter, right? You are a consultant of any of the newspaper agency. So you must assume yourself that you have to consider yourself that you are a reporter. So write your name uh, on the left hand side. LHS stands for left hand side on the page. After the margin, leaving one line after you have written the heading. So left hand side, write your name, full name must be written, and do not abbreviate. Write your full name. Then your next line would be immediate. Next line would be newspaper name, which is also written just below your name on the left hand side. LHS again. So newspaper name, any of the newspaper that you know or you read, like the Telegraph, the Times of India, uh, the Himalayan Darpan, Ajaboli, any kind of local newspaper that we get and read. So write the name of the newspaper, right? So we have understood. In the middle of the page we write the heading, which is either bold or it is underlined. Then coming to the left hand side, just after the margin on the left hand side, we write a full name as a reporter, and then very next line, left hand side, just below it, we write the newspaper name, right? So this is in ISC pattern. In the others, the other boards, sometimes in the question itself the name is given. Um, you are Rahul, or you are Ritika, suppose, right? So in the question itself, you will find the name, and when your name is given in the question, then we write the same name as given in the question. Do not write your name, right? As per the question, what is instructed, so you follow. But this generally is in CBSE pattern, so we don't generally go for it. So the question in our ISC, the name is not given in the question paper, so it's not to worry. So write a full name and then newspaper name just below it. Then leave one line. Then write the three important things which begins your report. The three important things that begins your report are place where the incident has taken place, what date was it, then what day was it. So these three things must be written on the left hand side, just leaving one line after you have written your name and newspaper name. So place where the incident has happened, so that place name must be given, and then date, right? And write date in the official pattern that we have understood, right? Do not write the date in points, do not write the date in obliques. Write date in the official pattern what we have understood. Then write day. Here day is also important because this is a single report that we are writing, and in the newspaper, when your report is sent to the newspaper agency, right? And as you know, uh, on a day, various news all over the world uh, that has taken place will be printed. That's why on the center of the newspaper, the first page, you will see the date and the day given there, right? So for that cause, we write uh, date and day here, right? When you uh, when you write your own report and later you send to your newspaper agency where you are a reporter, right? And as a reporter you are writing. So place, date, day, important. Three things must be written. So after that, three things you give a colon. Now you can either start your report in the same line, or you can also begin your report in the next line without leaving a line, right? So any of the two startings you can make it. Either you continue writing from here itself, giving the colon after you have written three things, or just go through uh, uh, go to the next paragraph, next line to start your first paragraph. And the first paragraph that you write is a summary of the report that you are writing. So in short, we write a summary of the occurrence or of the happening or the event that you are writing a report of. Then time is not needed or to be written on the head, as we write three things. Time can be mentioned in the body, in the summary, right? In the summary you can mention about time, the happening of the event. Then after you finish first paragraph, which is a summary of the report, then from the next paragraph we write the detailed explanation of your summary, right? So we write the detailed explanation of the report summary in the next paragraph onwards. So remember, in a report writing we have short paragraphs as compared to composition that we write in a question number 1. And do not write lengthy sentences in a report writing. You have to limit your words in a sentence so that it should stand very official. So use past tense or write the report in the passive voice, because the event has already taken place, the incident has already occurred, and you are making a report on that happening. So we use the past tense or passive voice. We can also use, or we may also use, the present tense or active voice only when there is an interrogation, when somebody is asking, and the ask question must be in direct speech, active voice, or the present tense within quotation, and then the response that the other person gives to you as a reporter is also within quotation, which is written in the direct speech, which is in the present tense. So that can be done. So this is what is a thing that you should know. And then don't use the personal pronoun I or we. Avoid using I and we, because when you write using the personal pronouns I and we, sometimes we forget what we are writing. We are actually writing report writing, and when we are using I and we, it becomes a composition. So it is entirely different. Your report writing is entirely different. We should not use I or we unless the person is telling you use I and we, then we can use. Otherwise, majority of the report writings is without the use of I or we, right? Because if we are using I and we, it becomes your personal composition. Either it becomes descriptive composition or it becomes narrative composition, right? So this question number 2, directed okay writing, is a hinted writing. So here we have a different format of writing it, so do not use I or we. Then comes, don't use any decorative words. Do not use any decorative words. Any decorative words means there should not be the use of figure of speech, like don't use metaphors, don't use similes, don't use personifications. So use direct sentences, whatever you're writing. So figure of speech should not be used. Proverbs should not be used. Famous sayings should not be used. Right? Generally, we use these decorative words in the composition that we write, because there we have to write uh, 400 to 450 words. So we need to have words uh, more in writing the composition. So there you can write these all varieties. But in uh, report writing, we don't use decorative words. No figure of speech, no proverbs, no famous saying, no old sayings. We don't write, right? And as you know, that report writing is to be written in the maximum limit of 300 words. You should not go beyond that. It is written 300 or less than 300 words. So that is why don't use this kind of decorative words. So limit your words. Then use formal language. You need to be very, very official in writing report writing, right? No hi, no hello, right? So it is very, very formal. We use very formal language while writing report writing. It should be very official. And then next, number 10, remembrance is it should be precise and concise. Precise means it should be to what is required. You should not go beyond it, and it should be very factual to what we write, and it should be concise. That means it should be with a limited span of words. Don't write lengthy words in a sentence, and don't repeat also the sentences what you write. So next is conclusion, and finally we give our conclusion. So generally when we uh, write magazine report, we have conclusion, because it is a one day event, like a cultural day program organized in a school. So the start and the end is there. So we have a conclusion to be written, okay, in such magazine report. Whereas in a newspaper report or police report, generally conclusion is not written, because there is a follow-up report, because the incident cannot be completed in one day. Suppose a road accident took place, so we cannot write the conclusion that in a single day um, the victim was admitted in a hospital, and medication is done and the person is all right and is out of the hospital. So such thing cannot be done in newspaper report, right? So in a newspaper report we have a report without conclusion, because what happened at that particular point of time, the road accident, we must maintain a report only of that. And what happens after that, the victims taken to the hospital or victims taken to the police station. So we have a follow-up report of what report that we write. So generally we don't have conclusion on there. So whereas in a magazine report we have conclusion, right? So this is a thing we must remember while writing report writing. So I hope now it is clear for you what is a report writing. We have been knowing the topic report writing now and again, and in AVP Ananda TV also you got to learn more of uh, report writing, and hope that your doubts are all erased now. So once again we'll recapitulate what you have done, right? So we are in our question number 2, which is directed writing. Here the directed writing means it's a hinted writing. You'll get the hints what to write. And one thing to know about hints writing, that you should not leave any of the hints given in the question paper. We must enter all the hints given there. However, you are also given within bracket, you may add any other relevant points from your side, so that is up to you. But when you are adding your own points of your own side, your points should not be more than what hints are given. That is also a thing you should remember. So coming to directed writing is hinted writing, and hints are provided, clues are given. So on the basis of those hints, we write a report in the maximum limit of 300 words, which is of 20 marks. And I reminded you last year also that why the picture writing kind of composition is not in your ISC syllabus. It's just because that. So in place of that question, we have question number 2, because here hints are given to us, so it becomes easy to write what to write in our question, right? So see, we have chosen report writing as our first exercise in our revision class. So what is a report writing? We have understood a report or factual description is a form of communication in which some information is conveyed and which is written to someone who wants it. It is a very formal writing, so we should write it in a formal style, elaborating on a topic. And there are 3 kinds of report writing that we generally get to write: newspaper report, police report, magazine report. And then these are the points that we should remember, and we should stick to what format we have, right? So first and foremost, in the center of your page, write your heading, rubric or title, leave one line, then write your name on left hand side, then just below your name, the very next line, write the newspaper name, then leave again one line, then write 3 important things that the report begins with: place, date and day. And then your paragraph starts, either start in the same line or you go next line, start your first paragraph, which is generally a summary. Time should not be entered on the head, time is written in the summary. And then from second paragraph onwards is a detailed explanation of the summary that you have written in the report. And then use past tense or passive voice. Don't use personal pronouns I and we. Don't use any decorative words, any figure of speech, proverbs, old saying, famous sayings, avoid those. Use formal language, write in an official language, should be precise and concise. So it should be factual to what you write, and it should be as short as possible. Do not drag your sentences with many number of words. Limit the words in a sentence, and then give a conclusion. And I suggested you conclusion is unwritten when you are getting a magazine report, right? So this is what we have understood today, report writing. I hope now it is very clear for you. I'll give you the question. The question will be given to your WhatsApp number. So please continue with your work. And on Monday's class, we'll have the remaining part of our Act 4, Scene 1 in our play, The Tempest, written by William Shakespeare. So this is what we are going to do. Thank you very much.